Happy rails to you. Welcome back, my friends. Happy rails to you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for watching the channel and the videos. Sometimes they go real fast and sometimes they're slow. Happy rails to you. Thanks for watching. Hi guys. Well, I'm out in the shop. Amazingly so. Been out here for a couple of days. I did wrap up the phase 2 of the Norfolk and Western dome car. It is complete, and I decided it's a little cooler, still in the 80s, mid to upper, but it got the old air conditioner on out here and my ceiling fan. And my grandkids, my oldest grandkids, came out last weekend, I think it was, and they actually helped me finish sorting the boxes. Well, we didn't get them all sorted, but they helped me put all the boxes up. We got all the boxes put up. Everything's in a place. Although I'm not sure what everything is that's in that place completely. Because as I say, we didn't get a chance to sort them all out. But they are put up, and I know basically where everything is. I just don't know what everything is. And we'll know that towards the rest of this year, the end of the year, for sure. But in the meantime, I'm able to get out here now, and still kind of a mess, but it's cleaned up quite a bit. My granddaughter, she swept it out and got all the stuff up, and I'm dirtying it up again. Like I say, they basically straightened it up and got everything off the layout they could take off the layout that didn't belong there. The area over here, I'm going to show you in a minute, that I had started working on again, that I hadn't been able to get out here for however long. It's actually been, except for the couple times I came out and worked on minor things, or tried to, it's been actually a year, 8 months, 9 months since I've actually been out here to work. So it actually feels good. It seemed like it was taking me forever to get out here, but now I'm glad I'm out here, and I actually got something done. I actually got that track finished, put back in, and rerouted a little bit on this one side of the layout that I had started, and that's where I left off at. Of course, I had to sit here and ponder and figure and remember exactly where I was at and what I was going to do, and since then I've had some different thoughts, except for that track and that section anyway, and we got that straight. So see here, I haven't done a whole lot with this lake area. It's kind of all tore up, and we'll get it straightened back out. I've got a couple different ideas with that too now, that I'll reveal later. But I wanted to show you this section of track down through here. It's what I was working on, and as you know, this used to go back originally through the mountain, and then we brought it on the base outside the mountain down here, and I still was having problems with that section of track for about 2 foot of it. and it was very hard to reach. So we had brought it out, brought it along here, and brought it back to where it curved back. If I can show you, let me get my light. Okay, to where it actually curved back just outside still of the mountain base, but it was right here and came behind this post. So what I've done, I changed it, brought it in front of this post, reset these two tracks over a little bit, and this is a much better curve. The other curve was a little too tight, and this gave us a little more room out in this area. Not quite as tight as it was. We're going to make some changes, I believe, up in there too. We're going to add some lighting. But anyway, we brought this on around. Here it is. As you can see it, and still hooked it back up in the original curve. Now, what we're about to do is take this section of track right here in this curve. We're going to take it out and put in this switch, which is going to give us this straight. What I want to do is turn this area into a freight yard and repair station. Now, I'm not going to get a lot of freight in there because it's not big enough, but that will help me move some of my surplus engines, maybe some of my surplus cars even. I don't know yet, but this is what I'd like to do, what I'm going to plan to do. This is an American Flyer S-gauge station. I have several of them. I use 2 of them on the layout. I'll show you here. And to make the upper and lower stations, they're connected together. Come out into the giant steeple and take the elevator down into the lower station. But this one is going to be my engine repair house, my engine repair shop. As you can see, it's damaged right here on the corner. That's the only real bad damage to it. It's just an old lighted station. It's got a few imperfections, as a lot of these old stations do. And all the attachments weren't there. I just took the lights out of it. See those 2 screws there? They house the light housings, and they set too low, so we're going to take them out. This also has a bottom in it, and we're going to take this bottom out. But as you can see, it's a little tight. But there is some space between the engines from the wall. In between the engines on both sides. And the track works perfectly in there. And that's all gauge track, guys. This is an S gauge station. So I don't know exactly how it's going to sit yet, or how it's going to work. That's what I'm working out now. So I'm going to get busy with this track. All right, I've completed this section, that switch in, and I'll show it to you here in a little bit. But I'm now going ahead and sectioning out my station, cut the end out of it. It was broken and cracked right there already, but the piece was there. It was being held in by the end, and so I do have the piece. I'm going to glue it back in. It is right here, and I'm going to glue it back in. And taking the bottom out now. Turn it around. Just 4 screws that hold this bottom in. So I liked about Flyer, they put everything together well, but they most of it was planned out really good, and they kept it simple. Fairly simple. Most things. Okay. So now this just comes out, or it should. I'll try to do it one-handed. See if we can do it that way. It's not gonna let us do it. Hold on just a minute. Okay, got it out. Slide it down here for now. And of course that'll give me spare parts for one of my other ones. Set it in place, see how it looks. Of course, there's a certain distance. Let's see if I can set the camera up here. train and the track will have to go in. Right now I'm just kind of fitting things together. I'm not actually, this will not be the actual way everything's going to sit. Doubtful. Just trying to get it fitting. So this will actually have, for now, one working track on the inside of it. Which will probably be this one. Add another section of track to that. I don't have any more long sections, but it's not going to go clear to the back of the engine repair building anyway, so okay. I see what I'm going to have to do to show you here. I'm going to have to go ahead and pop these off, these 4 screws to the bottom, which is okay because I won't be using them anymore anyway. So this should be a real easy process. You should just be able to take the pliers, get hold of them down low, bend them, snap them right out of there. Now, these might come in handy for nuts, so if you ever do this, and you want a plastic nut, I broke that one. This might be the way to go. One of these was already broke anyway, so that was probably it. Yep. You gotta get square on them. These might break off just a little different because they're actually molded on a little differently. So we'll see. We don't want to damage the side of our building. We can help it. That's good. Now I had put the screws back in. Oh, the screws back in these. Now that was the top one. I didn't mean to do that. That could trick me there. This one's broke. That one's good. So split right in half. It was already split, so just came out like that. This one's going to come out. Break the rail, and that's okay. Keep that one. Throw these parts of these other ones away. Looking at the one that split. Let's see if we can get it out of there a little better. than that. There. That's what I wanted. All right. Now, I'm going to add well, I'd like to add a short section on there, but I can't. I need like a 2-inch section. That's just about 1 inch and 1/4 too long. But anyway, this track is going to come down here like this. It's going to sit here like this. We'll have our other track in here like this. And they don't have to go all the way back up in there because the wheels are more in the center of the engine, except for the rear truck. And as long as we have our rear truck on, and we're going to put a stop on the ends of the tracks, we'll be fine. Okay guys, this is 2 days later. Actually, last couple of days, I've been working here at my desk on my shop building. I got that track set. It's just kind of temporary, but I cut the piece that I need to make, and I've got it so that I could fit the building over it. I decided to take the building, guys, and widen it out a little bit. It was just really, even though the engines fit in there okay on the track and didn't hit one another, there was not enough room in there. It was too close to actually stage anything or put any people in to make it look like they were actually working on something or that it was a busy shop. And so it's still not going to have a great deal of room. I could have added another inch and a half to it. But instead, I just added 2.5 inches to it to widen it out. So far, here's what I've done. I've actually taken it further. I was intending on recording it as I was going. But after you get started on stuff, you get to moving on it, and while you're inspired, you just keep going. And instead, that's what I was doing. So here's the building. As I had showed you, I had cut out the front. I took this front piece that was in here and put it in the back. You can see here where I sectioned it in. I took half of it. There was 4 windows, if you remember, in the front and 4 windows in the back. So I took half of the front piece and put it in the back, which allowed me to widen out the building. So now instead of 5 1/4 inches wide, it's actually 7 1/2 inside the inside. Now what I also done is on the inside, and I'm going to put another cross member in here and one down here. So what I used for this as my bracing, as I didn't have any constructs, as they make the steel pier and steel structure. And so I used plastic clothes hanger. And that's what this is. And so I put that in. And as you can see, I've got a frosted roof. And what I use for this roof, and you can use it for many different things. If you have an American Flyer terminal and you're missing a roof for it, or your roof is damaged, you can go to the Dollar Tree, to Walmart, different places, one of the other dollar stores probably, and get a clear chopping mat. And it's the same material, the same thing. It's might be just a little bit thinner, but in most cases, I've got a terminal. I've never had room to put it up or put it on. And this is what came for that terminal. Not this particular piece. My wife and I had already bought some of these. So it just came in handy for that. I was going to use one on the terminal should I ever get the terminal up and going. And I decided to use this because, number one, after I expanded this, the original roof would not fit on here anymore. It was too small. Number two, this is frosted and somewhat clear, so it allows light to come through it. Now you can't see me clearly on the other side, but you can tell that I am on the other side, or something is on the other side of this. There's my hand. See, you can see my hand if I put it up close. So it's clear enough that actually whatever you've got on the inside of it will show itself. Even though not clearly visible, you'll still be able to see it. See? My hand. Hello. I wasn't going to fasten this in, and then I decided to go ahead and glue it down. So what I used was hot glue to glue it down, and I just tacked it. I tacked it in the four corners, and right here, and right here, in the middle. That's good enough. There's actually no weight on these trusses that I've built in here, but it looks better if they're there, and they give this top support, as this is flimsy. Now it's good and tight, and like I say, there's no weight. It doesn't have any weight, so these are not weight bearing actually. And if you put a little weight on them, it's okay. I wouldn't put 6 to 10 pounds maybe on it, especially for a long period of time. But you can take it. It will hold a little weight. as you can see. So I reinforced it. I like to use wood and plastic, or all plastic if I can. So means I didn't have, and we don't have a outside of Walmart. We don't have any place in hobby shops, hobby centers, anything here. So I have to drive clear to another town or go out of state and get the material that I need. And as you know, I like to be able to use, when I can, whatever I have on hand. Learn how to work with what you got. And things usually work out okay. There's always something you can substitute for something else. And you can take it and make it look nice. As I said, this is plastic hanger. I've already cut this one. I've got to finish cutting it, fitting it, and put it in. And I'm going to add it in. Tip the camera a little more, if we can. Yeah, right there. I'm going to add it in here on the underside, and one here about midway. And that gives us a nice presentation of a building structure. Okay. When I did this front, I had to, because I had cut out this whole piece up here, I had to replace it. So I used a piece of my ruler. I have a wooden ruler. I used a piece of wooden ruler for this section, and I faced it front and back with the vinyl. I glued those together, adhered those together, let them sit for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. Put a little pressure on them so that they would seem real good. And then fit it. I also cut it out for the signboard. This is all one piece. Then I took, last night, I took and I put the edging around it for the sign. And today, this morning, I faced these side walls, fronts, so that this would all be level and all be one piece. Now, what I could have done, and maybe what I should have done, was painted it while I had it in the early stages before I got this far. But as I said, I get to working on something and I'm just going, man. And I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about how I'm putting it together. And as I get it together, I'm like, I'll just go ahead and do that. I'll just fix it. And I keep going until I get to that point. And before I know it, it's almost done. But I could probably spray it. I don't want to take these windows back out. These windows are good and tight. They're a nice fit. I can glue them back in, tape them back in, but they're still original, in place and secure. And I hate to take them out. Matter of fact, this is probably one of the most secure sets of windows that I've had in a building in a long time. Consequently, I'll have to cover the windows, spray it, or brush paint it. I haven't decided which one we're going to do yet, but we're going to do one or the other. But right now, we're going to cut and fit this. Now, my little rotary tool is very noisy. And I knew that, but I realized it more in the videos when I was working on the dome car, and I had to sand down and so forth and so on. And I apologize to you for that, because that's just really a lot of noise unnecessarily. And I could have done that off camera and then come back. But I was trying to do it in a way that you could see what was being done, as much of it as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it right here for a moment and get this cut, and I'll be right back. Well, we're going to stop right there. I'm going to pick it up in the next video, part 2. I don't know what happened, guys, to the light. We got been having this problem lately. But anyway, we're going to pick it up in part 2, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. And as always, remember, God is love, and Jesus Christ loves you. Happy rails. Until next time. This has been a Catzilla production. Bye-bye.